Economic Forum 2016. Our next session will be on the art and influence of seeing people, cross-cultural relationships that dismantle ethnocentrism and nationalism. So it will be handled by our lead speaker, Carmel Clare. She is an international speaker and coach from USA. Welcome to ma'am.
Is this working? It is.
Come on up front. Come on up front. Let's get close. Would you please? You guys came in. I'm Carmel. Josh. Would you guys come up closer? All right. So we'll probably have some other people trickling in here and there. What I want to talk about today, and what I want to start with, is telling you the story about Nora Schiavi. I met Nora Schiavi in Siena, Italy, 2.5 years ago. And I hadn't planned on stopping in Siena, but I did end up staying in Siena for 2 nights. And I stayed with a family that lived there, and Nora was a student working on her master's and was also wanting to work on her Italian. So she had come and was staying with this family. And the interesting thing about this was that she had been gone for 3 months and had arrived back the day before I arrived. And she was only going to be there for a week, and I was only there for 2 days. And so our paths intersected. Nora was from Kuwait, and her master's thesis was on what she called regional peace. Regional peace being, as she said, world peace is too big for us to get our arms around. And so instead we need to think about something smaller. We need to think about something we can influence. And regional peace for her was based off of these old ideas that formerly, in the past, people would intermarry families in order at the governmental or the royal level, in order to create liaisons, create relationships. And those relationships would actually be the basis for no longer fighting and being able to start to get along. So as Nora and I had started to talk about her project that night, we stayed up until 2 in the morning talking. Because one of the things that is my study is understanding conflict and how conflict exists, how it perpetuates, and how we can learn from the inside out how to end conflict, because it is ultimately something from us. So as Nora and I talked about this, the things that we walked into were the principles of influence. So how many of you here have had conversations with other people at the conference where you felt like they were talking all about them? Right? Like they started to tell you what their work was or what their business was, or to try to get you in, or they would just talk about themselves and their own stories, and that was really the extent of it, right? How do we feel? How do you feel? Just start out. Not good. Not good. But what is the not good? I'm going to just put this down because I don't know. Do we really need this? Yeah. Do you need it for the video? Do you need this for the video? Okay, so I just want you to throw it out there. What is the not good that you feel? What specifically is not good? boring. Wonderful, it is, right? What else? What else is not good when you have these interactions with people and all they can do is talk about themselves?
As a whole, you feel like they are selfish and that you're undervalued in the conversation.
Yes, you feel like they are selfish and you're undervalued in the conversation.
You also feel like you're not there.
You feel like you're not there. Is that what you said? Yes, very much so. Self-absorbed. It's true. Fantastic. Anybody else have ideas of what? Wonderful. Give me another microphone. Can we get that mic up here? Yeah, this is going to be going on over. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, darling.
Hi. So I was saying people start off by making assumptions, thinking that you would have an interest in their profession, their culture, or the knowledge they're going to share with you, whereas it's actually about co-sharing, creating completely new knowledge together, which no one needs.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Right. Are there any other thoughts about this that you guys want to add to?
To me, I would sense a neediness. Like if they're just talking about themselves, there's something a need that's not being met that they have, and they may not even be aware of it.
They may not even be aware of it. Very well said. Thank you so much, Sarah. These are all fantastic answers, and that's what I want us to do. It starts out feeling bad, but there are reasons underneath that feeling bad, as you've all said, very, very eloquently, better than I could, what those reasons are, and that does happen. What I'm interested in is why, first of all, and what to do about that, second of all. Because if you came to the session and you see words like ethnocentrism and nationalism, you know these are really big, serious problems. We're all in agreement. What I understand, and in my work of coaching for the last 16 years, I coach people into becoming influencers at all levels. That has been my work and my passion, because I see that it's not the person that we have conflict with, it's always a conflict within ourselves, isn't it? We know that. You guys are here. You have that self-awareness. How do we bridge that? How do we get from this place where we're not communicating, where we have these needs that aren't being met, and this need to put our ideas onto other people, or to be right, or to be understood? How do we shift that into something that can produce more potential, more possibility to stop these big problems from the inside out? Right? One of the things that we know is we take on these problems of ethnocentrism and nationalism that produces barriers between us. We try to take those on through conflict models, right? Conflict models produce what? More conflict. So what are your ideas? What are your suggestions? What are your thoughts about how to engage without having conflict, without bringing conflict in these bigger issues, these bigger situations? Do you understand my question? How do we actually stop that conflict process? And I'm going to link these two things together that we were just talking
I find that starting with the one thing that you can agree on, that brings the conversation to, rather than adversarial, there's a common ground that you start with.
Find a common ground. That's good.
More empathy,
Please.
by showing more empathy for the other, showing more empathy for the other person's point of view.
Showing more empathy for the other person's point of view. So understanding that from the inside out. It's interesting that you said that, and please. That when you say empathy for the other person's point of view, what I also hear you saying is, I'm going to suspend what I want to get out of it in order to focus on what I can learn, what I can understand, which is what you were speaking to from the other side. So I'm going to walk through.
Just wanted to add something too. He
Oh my gosh, please.
Minding body language, your body language, the spoken words. But sometimes your voice or the tone of your voice could be hostile, even, and that's what the person is reading. And you think, I didn't say anything, but the person thinks you glared at them or rolled your eyes or you looked at them in a condescending manner, and stuff like that. So that is even more subtle, because there are times when we have all implied, and sometimes correctly too, that someone likes us or someone doesn't like us. So, I also sometimes consciously have to remind myself, especially when I am nervous, because that's when you do the dumbest things. When I am nervous and I have to meet someone, I have to constantly remind myself, be careful that you don't look this way or act this way or stand this way or things like that. I found it very helpful when I consciously watch my unspoken language.
Your body language, so beautifully said. So I'm going to have us do an exercise right now, and I'd like everybody to close their eyes. And as you have your eyes closed, I want you to imagine that the person in front of you or behind you just thinks you're the most amazing person they've ever seen. They don't know you yet, but they want your success. This person that's sitting behind you or in front of you wants you to have every opportunity you could possibly have in your life. If given the opportunity, this person would support you in every way they could think of to make that happen. And in conversations with other people, they speak about you in the greatest terms. They talk about you in ways that, if you could hear it, would be the most complimentary things you could ever hear, that would cut right to the heart of who you are. Take a deep breath. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, so it's so interesting, I love it. You all opened your eyes, and your eyes were different than when you closed them. Does it feel different? And we're so used to walking around with these perceptions that other people won't feel that way, these assumptions that that's not. But isn't that how you feel toward other people, by and large? Like, you want their success. And when you meet somebody, when you're looking for, who are you? You must be incredible. And what do people produce when we think that?